Autos for April 7, 2022, live from Miami, Florida, USA. Let's get this show started.
Hey, I have some questions to ask you. I'm with the Alexander News Show.
Who are you?
Alexander Carlos, Alexander News Show. How you doing? I'm a Trump supporter.
Everyone, welcome. So, in about 10 minutes, we'll be hopefully connected live with Senator and Miami-Dade County Commissioner, Mr.Rene Garcia. I believe he's a Hialeah High School alumni. I'm going to ask him. I believe he went to Hialeah High School. So I already put it on in the social media platforms. Let's get started first. Let's get the nitty-gritty out of the way. You can find me on these social media platforms. Alexander News Show on YouTube. Show right here. Boom. The YouTube channel. Facebook and on Instagram. Alexander News Show. Twitter is Alexander News SH. I will be on Reddit and I will be on TikTok eventually. Little by little. If you want to support the show, look for Cash App on your Play Store. Boom. Download it and cash Alexander News Show. Slam the like button. All right. It's very important to slam this video. Like it. And subscribe to the channel. Hit bell for notifications. So, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, there's, while we're waiting for Mr. Garcia, just real quick, Mr. Garcia is, he represents the Northwest Miami-Dade area, which is the east part of Hialeah. It extends to like West Hialeah, like the middles of West Hialeah. And it starts like on 60, I believe Northwest 62nd Street and goes all the way north to the Dade Bar turn line. But this districts in Miami-Dade County are weird, like shaped and stuff. I believe that Amelia Earhart Park is part of this district. And then it just goes, on west of the Amelia Earhart Park, going all the way to the Miami-Dade Bar County line. And it stops at I-75, I believe. But then there's a little part of Miami Lakes that belongs to, I believe, Pepe Diaz. But he has also Palm Springs North. So that is his district. By the way, if you have a question or a comment, and I put this out there, you gotta be civil. Let's be civil, guys. But if you have a question or a comment for Mr. Rene Garcia, and you're the fortunate one that I get to select, you can actually send me a comment on Twitter. You can comment on Twitter, send me something on Twitter. You can also email the show, alexandernews at gmail.com. Or you can also text the show. I'm going to put the number. Where's the number here? Okay. You can text the show. The easiest way is to text 786-652-7240. And guys, if you can't see the show now, that's fine. This is digital. This is digital, like the great Brian Andrews, former reporter, TV news anchor. I consider him a legend. Brian Andrews, again, told me, welcome to the new age of digital media. So, TV is dying. Radio's already dead. Who the hell listens to radio? Who the hell listens to 610 WILT? I'm sorry. I said T. It's actually WILD. But anyway, who the hell listens to? Well, anyway, text the show 786-652-7240, live from Miami, Florida, USA. And it's about 9:53, but yeah, a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So he's supposed to come on now at approximately, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to, yeah, 10 a.m. Who listens to WIOD? Who listens to sports radio, QAM? I mean, that's why Big O's got almost 12,000 subscribers, and he gets an average of 2 to 3,000 views for his shows. Now, I'm not at his level, but, you know, and TV news is like, whatever. Who the hell listens to that? I mean, if you want to watch TV news, just go on YouTube and you can watch the local news station newscast. Just what you want to watch. And YouTube is the way of the future, guys. And there's another platform called Rumble. I'm going to look into Rumble. And, you know, you got Facebook as well. I mean, my best friend, he's also a partner, Alexander Reyes. He has a Facebook page, and you should check it out. It's on Point Fighter. It's Point Fighter Live karate page, MMA page. Pretty cool. He's got 1.6 million followers, and he's the best when it comes to Facebook. And anyway, so I just wanted to mention, like, you can't watch the show live right now. That's fine. I actually get most of my views later on, like in downtime, like people are just at home relaxing. Anyway, so we're 6 minutes into the show, and let me put here the basically the information, social media platforms. If you have a question, an insult, or something, you can send me an email. By the way, if you're a company and you want to sponsor the show, I'm looking for sponsors. I'm growing the show. I've invested all my resources on this show. I'm building Alexander News show. And like I said, you can also text the show if you are a company and you want to sponsor. But Alexander News show at gmail.com. Again, if you have a question for Mr. Garcia, Senator and Commissioner Rene Garcia, email the show, or you can text the show, or leave a comment on Twitter. And by the way, for the latest news and everything, go to Twitter. That's like a talk show in itself. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Alexander News SH on Twitter. And so, I don't know, we got some news. We got some news going on. I want to share with you all. And I'm going to wait for Mr. Rene Garcia. He's going to come on in any moment now. So, COVID cases are rising again in half the states. There could be another wave, guys. I'm looking at the Drudge Report. That's what I look at for the news, or Yahoo News. I don't look at CNN, the Communist News Network. But yeah, they're rising in LA, San Diego, and San Francisco. So, a fourth vax extends protection for just a few weeks, study shows. For those of you that got 2 vaccines, like I did, the Pfizer, that was pretty good. And I believe that's more than enough. The third, the booster shot, I'm not a big vaccine guy. I'm not. I got the vax. I do believe it works and it protects you against the COVID-19 to a certain extent. But it also has a side effects. One of the side effects of the vaccine, of the coronavirus, is that it could give you complications of the heart. But I'm not a doctor. But I'll tell you one thing. I will not listen to the CDC. They're not the experts. So, but if you haven't been vaxxed, it wouldn't be a bad idea to get vaxxed. Alright? At least get the first vaccines. Preferably the Pfizer one. The booster shot, I don't think you should get the booster one. That's just my opinion. That's one man's opinion. What else? USA sanctions Vladimir Putin's daughters. You all know my stance on the war in Ukraine. If Donald Trump would have been president, I'm gonna say this. If he would have been president, um, we wouldn't be in a war right now. We wouldn't be in a war, and I feel bad for the citizens and people of Ukraine. But anyway, we have Mr. We have Mr. Let me see, Commissioner Rene Garcia. I'm going to switch the icon here. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Good morning. I was just talking a little bit about Biden and the disappointment. I'm what's I had a show yesterday. I was talking about what's going on in the Texas border in 2021. 2 million. You're live, by the way. We're live. Let me get the intro, but first started, and then I'll get you going. Okay.
Absolutely.
Welcome back. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is Senator and Miami-Dade County Commissioner Mr. Rene Garcia. I've already explained the district boundaries. So you cover a lot of East Hialeah, half of West Hialeah. It's weird. The districts are like shaped weirdly. Your district is actually next to Monestein, which ends, I believe, on 37th Avenue, right a little bit past the train. No, right on the train tracks. And then you've got Miami Lakes, and you got Palm Springs North, and I believe you also got Amelia Earhart Park. Am I correct?
Absolutely. It starts roughly at the southern border is roughly Hialeah Park, which we could say roughly 21st Street. 21st Street all the way to Okeechobee. Then you just go up to the Palmetto, take the Palmetto all the way north until you get to Miami Lakes, and it gets all of Miami Lakes. Then up to the Dade-Broward line, 57th Avenue to the east, and then it goes down and gets all of Hialeah, the northern part of Hialeah to back down to the racetrack, going roughly down West 10th Avenue, or the train tracks actually is the border to the east, and that's where I have Monestein on one part to the east. I have Oliver Gilbert in the northern part of the district, and then I have Pepe Diaz to the west, and to the north on the other part of Hialeah we have Rebecca Sosa.
Yeah, you're surrounded.
Yes, sir.
So let me ask you. First of all, you went to Hialeah High School, right?
And very proud of it. Yes, I'm a thoroughbred through and through.
Hialeah High School, class of '95. What class are you?
93, class of 93.
So I have a question. Who was your favorite teacher in Hialeah High School?
Oh, you can't do that to me. That's so unfair. It's so unfair. But
I'll tell you. I'll tell you who was my favorite teacher.
oh,
Miss Mathis.
I never had Miss Mathis, but I know Miss Mathis. I had a couple. Look, I had Miss Wise was one of mine. The other one, Mr. Ferrante, that I did student government with. Miss Rodriguez, which was my geometry teacher, my math teacher. There's a couple. I had a couple.
Good old days.
Yeah, it was a different time. Everything is different now, so that's what it is.
So I appreciate.
I said Miss Wise. Her name is Miss. I'm sorry, it's Miss White. She was my English teacher. Very tough lady. Very tough lady, but she really cared about her students. So I had a lot of fun with her.
Awesome. You remember Mr. Wargle, the principal?
Of course, Mr. Wargo. Absolutely.
The good old days.
Yes, sir.
So I want to get to this. What's going on with redistricting in Miami-Dade County? Can you please explain? I'm not sure if your district is going to be changing a little bit. Could you elaborate a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. The redistricting process in Miami-Dade County is quite different than that of the state. But the redistricting process here in Miami-Dade it's already done. The districts have already been adopted, and the new districts are already it's already live, I guess, for lack of a better word or terminology. The districts really did not change much. They changed a little bit, obviously, because the demographics of the county have grown, or the population has grown. So the districts, some districts had to lose, some districts had to gain. In my case, my district had to increase in population. So this is why I took over. I went all the way to the Palmetto, where before Commissioner Diaz's district will come in a little northern part of Hialeah. And I lost a little bit of the southern part of Hialeah, which Rebecca Sosa came in a little further in. So, but the districts pretty much, Monestine's, all the districts stayed pretty much as they were. So there wasn't much change this year.
Okay, so you didn't get like 37th Avenue, where the east side of what's left of east side of Hialeah, where the fire station, the old fire. I don't know if you know where that is. They have actually a fire station on
Yes.
37th Avenue and
Yeah.
54th Street. No.
Yeah. No, I go down to, no, I stop at the racetrack. I stop on 25th Street, roughly. 25th Street, all the way to the, I'm sorry, I'm just trying to think, all the way to the railroad.
Okay, well,
That's
real
right.
awesome. And
Like the Tri Station, the Tri Rail Station where it is, from the Tri Rail
yes.
Station north along the corridor.
Okay. So now that we're talking about that area, could you please tell our audience what the Lehi Arts District is, if I've said it correctly?
The Leah districts. The
Lehi
Leah Art
District.
District.
Okay, sorry.
Uh, the Leah
That's
district.
what that shows you that I screw up sometimes in my figure of speech.
Sometimes, I never seen that. No one screws up sometimes. Me, everyone thinks I screw up all the time, so it is what it is, So it's better sometimes than be me, right? But look, it's called the Leah Art District, and that's on the eastern fringe of Hialeah. It's right outside. Unfortunately, I think it's right outside of my district, but nonetheless, it's in the city of Hialeah, and that is an area of warehouses that have been there for many years. Hialeah is a city that's been known for its manufacturing. People don't realize how much manufacturing happens here in Hialeah, and they've turned that area into what we're looking. Listen, I'm not going to call it the next Wynwood because it's a little different, but it is an area where we're trying to bring younger people in, bring artists in, and try to emulate what has worked in different areas across the country to ensure that Hialeah becomes more diverse in its entertainment options for our residents. We know Hialeah has been always an area of a working class older community, and as people are passing away, grandparents are leaving their houses to their grandkids, parents are leaving their houses to their young adults, and we're seeing there's a process in Hialeah where we're seeing more and more young people wanting to live here. So in order to make sure that we become competitive and are able to attract, we're trying to modernize the city and bring the city into the 21st century, pretty much. And I think the art district is an area that is going to boom. As a matter of fact, a couple of weeks ago, we had a music festival, the first international music festival at the city of Hialeah.
Factory Town.
Factory Town, yes, sir. And it was a complete success. So I'm very excited to collaborate with the mayor and Oscar de la Rosa to ensure that we continue to grow this in a responsible way, right? Because we want to make sure that
I'm actually happy because that area was dead. There's nothing going on there.
Yeah, no, it was completely dead. Actually, there was manufacturing going on there, but there was a lot of warehouses that were, that were abandoned.
The only thing going on there is the Home Depot. That's it, and the Tri-Rail.
The factory town is a little further north, but it's a great area. I was there for the music festival for one day, and I'll tell you that it was a pretty cool sight to see all those young people, and the music, because I do like EDM music, and it was nice to see.
Beautiful.
Nice to see. Yeah.
Beautiful. I'm really happy for that, and that's going on. I mean, I grew up. Oh, I lost you for a second. Oh, there you are. I'm excited because I grew up in East Hialeah, 45th Street and East 9th Lane, close to the bridge. If you know where that is, 103rd Street, going into Monestine's district. When I was growing up, we had a lot of manufacturing on the east side of Hialeah, from East 25th Street up to the canal, which is like 55th Street, between 10th Avenue and the train tracks. A lot of that, I know it's been years. A lot of it is just now mechanic shops and body shops. Is there any way or any chance that Hialeah will get that back ever? Any kind of new manufacturing coming back, or do you have any visions of maybe making that possible?
Well, I'm in the county commission, so that jurisdiction falls completely and solely on the city of Hialeah because it's an incorporated city.
Of course, yeah.
So I have been working with the mayor that will take a little time. That's why Factory Town is the beginning of it, as you very well know. If you build it, they will come. And what happens with Factory Town, I really do believe that where Factory Town is to the south of the area that you're talking about, if that is a success, which I think it will be, the way that
No, it will. It will.
that'll start growing up north that corridor, and you'll see other manufacturers coming in and so forth. But I don't want people to misconstrue what I'm trying to say, because I don't believe that we should push out those manufacturers. I think we need to bring more back into the city. We need to bring higher paying jobs into the city. And I think with the current policies and making it easier for businesses and streamlining the permitting process in the city of Hialeah, and also updating it with technology, that we had a conversation.
That you just said it right there, technology. And you know what? That area there that I mentioned to you, I believe it could be like a manufacturing hub. There's a lot of warehouse spaces, but there's also opportunities to tear down some warehouses, old warehouses. I've seen them; they're abandoned, and create what you just said, a technology manufacturing hub.
Yeah, Alexander, when we were growing up, that area there was a lot of factories. Remember,
Yes,
la factorias. My mom worked in plenty of them. That's how I
my
grew up.
mom too.
Yeah, and a
Yeah,
factoria. So my mom used to do el dobladillo. That's the hem. That's all she did. She's at a
that's what
seafood.
my mom did too for a
Really?
few years when I first was born.
Yeah, that's a connection that we all have from our
She
family.
rode the bike because she didn't have a car. She had to ride her bike to the factory.
That's neat. And that's a big difference between that's the generation that we grew up in, right? And seeing our parents sacrifice and work their tails off to make sure that they gave us a better life. And that area was all factories. And because of NAFTA, as you very well know, what happened in the
Oh,
city, we were decimated, where all these jobs went overseas. So now,
a
they're not.
disaster,
Yeah,
a complete disaster.
we're living proof of it. People talk of great things about NAFTA. I guess there was great things to that deal. Having this compact between the three countries.
Thank God Trump fixed that, man.
But we got hit. We got hit hard. The city of Hialeah got hit hard for many years, and you know it. I mean, we lost all those manufacturers went
No,
overseas.
no. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I witnessed it as a child growing
Right.
up. I mean, and it's a disaster. I'm glad Donald Trump, he did so many things great as president. I'm not going to get into that, but
No, but
he fixed it.
the America First policy is something that works. We need to come back, and especially now after the pandemic, that we've become so reliant on exports, or I guess so reliant on imports, that the supply chains, if there's any issue with the supply chain, we're the ones that are left holding we're at the end of that stick. So it's taking a while. Everything now, we become too dependent on foreign countries. We need to become more dependent on ourselves. Yes, things may cost a little more to make here, but if they cost a little more, we're making sure that we provide and create American jobs that are here
And better products.
economy. Yes, sir.
Better products. I wanted to ask you really quick. There's a report that came out by former USA Today reporter Miss Wendy Rhodes about Miami-Dade officials admitting to destroy critical evidence about Surfside collapse rescue efforts, including having a county employee deleting over 23 hours of critical Miami-Dade fire rescue audio and trying to cover it up and lying about it for months. This is from USA Today. Have you heard anything about this report?
No, when did I'm sorry. The answer is no. When did this story come out? I didn't see it.
It came out. Hold on, I'll tell you right now. I've got it right here. It came out about 2 weeks ago, and it was reported in August, along with. Okay, hold on. I'll tell you right now. I put this out on my social media. So one of them is another scandal. It was reported in September about how officials withheld and covered up evidence about their too little, too late pet rescue efforts, which they also lied repeatedly about. That's another scandal. I was just wondering if you were aware of it. It's something that happened, including, again, separate, the pet rescue efforts, lying about that, and also the 23 hours of audio, critical audio rescue efforts that were deleted by a county employee. And it was a cover up too.
No, Alexander, I don't. I can tell you that I was there right after
No,
the
I did see you on TV. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, right after the towers came down. I think I was one of the first commissioners there. I was,
Yes.
I think I was, and I did see the work that our first responders were conducting. I know that I saw them on the rubble early on. I know that they had to take a step back at some point because of the instability of the rubble, and they were trying to figure out, where the pockets were and so forth. But other than that, I have not seen the report. I don't know anything about it. And
This is from Wendy Rhodes.
yeah.
She used to be a reporter for USA Today.
I haven't seen it. I'll tell you that one of the things that I have been pushing in the county, has nothing to do with this current situation you're talking about, is I'm one that really does believe in transparency in government. And I continuously push for that in the county commission, whether it's on the county commission rules and policies or how we conduct ourselves as a county government. So I'll wait for, if there's an investigation, I guess we'll wait for it to come out and see what comes to light. But if there was any audio that was deleted, that to me, there's no reason to delete any public audio any audio that belongs in the public realm. I'm not.
Yeah, this reporter, God bless her, they tried to throw her off, and they even intimidated her.
Who's they?
Miami-Dade County.
Okay, that should not happen. That should never happen.
Yeah. So I wanted to bring that up. So let me change gears here a little bit. I like to mix things up. What inspired you to get into public office?
When I was in student government, I started, I guess, when I was in high school. Even in junior high, I was just one of those guys that was always doing something. Volunteering in different programs in school clubs. I just liked it. I just always enjoyed that. My family is an apolitical family. My parents, except for the issue of Cuba, right? When you talk about Cuba, everyone's political in that realm. But outside of that, here in the U.S., they were never really, they're apolitical. So it wasn't a family name. It wasn't a family thing. But the one thing that my family does have is my family is a very service-oriented family. Where the minimal means that we've always had, my parents have always given back. We've always helped family members, neighbors, and I grew up around that. So I did that in high school. I was student government president. Then I interned for Congresswoman Indiana Ross Layton's office back then. And then I just said, I saw a need in our community in the city of Hialeah, and I decided to run for the city council. And then the rest is history. The first year I ran, I did not get elected. That was in 1995. I was 21 years old. And
wow. Okay.
That was crazy, but and I look back.
No, I don't think you're crazy. You're brave.
I look
you're
back
brave.
at it. The funny thing is that now I see these young kids. I don't say kids, young adults wanting to run for office. I go, wait a minute, these guys are too young. But then I go, what a hypocrite am I? I started when I was 21, so I'm the type of guy that tries to encourage everyone to get involved and help and give back. And one of the questions that I always ask individuals when they're running for the first time, my question to them is very simple. Why is it that you're running? What is it you want to accomplish, or what do you want to do? And depending on the way they answer that is whether they get my support or endorsement. Because I really do believe that if when you run for office, you should be running to better your community, to make your community a better place, to help people, not to come into public office to see what you can get out of it or to help your business. That's why, the name, that's why politics gets a bad name, because you have a couple of bad apples, a little more than a couple. But generally, the people that are in public service are doing it because they want to try to do the right thing and make a change in their community.
Well, really quick before we get going, because I know you got to go. Two questions. First of all, I want to make a comment. Mr. Esteban Bull, big fan of his. He's doing an incredible job in the city of Hialeah as mayor. I'm so happy that he's mayor of the city of Hialeah, and the new council. All the council members are pitching in, and everyone's working as one unit, one team. Do you have any? Can you comment about that?
Look, absolutely. There's no secret that I am close with Steve Bouphe. We've been friends for 20, actually since I started, we served together in the city council. And ever since then, we forged a bond and a relationship. And I'm not going to tell you that that relationship has not had issues because we don't always agree. We've had plenty of disagreements.
Hey, hey,
That's
that's the way life is. I'm gonna disagree with you, Mr. Rene Garcia, on
yeah,
some things, and I'll tell you something. Politically, politically, if I see you do something wrong, I'm gonna call you out. But if you do something great, which you did some, I wanted to ask you real quick about the affordable living that you passed. You helped pass this legislation. I'm going to congratulate you. But one thing I will not do is attack you personally. I don't do that. So I'm sorry, I cut you off. Finished it with Mr. Bovo. The
no,
great job he's doing for the city of Hialeah.
no. Look, I'll tell you, he is doing an amazing job. Look, the last 10 years in the city of Hialeah, uh, the city was not being administered as it should. I think there was a lot of issues. A lot of things were left undone or not. They were not keeping an eye on different issues in the city of Hialeah. That's why you see what's happened in the police department. That's why you see the issues with the water. You see the privatization of garbage. There's one issue after the next, and Mayor Bovo has now come in, and he's starting to uncover all these issues, and he's trying to make them right, and he's doing
And
it
he
all.
will.
Yeah, and he's doing it all. The important thing here is that he's doing it all in the sunshine, so people can know. It's his administration, and we've had conversations about this. So I'm really excited about trying to turn the city around, trying to turn the image around. I don't think the city should be the butt of all jokes. This is why I defend the city tooth and nail every single chance I get, because this city has a lot of good people that live here, a lot of hardworking individuals that deserve the respect for building this community, and that's something that I will always be proud, and I'm very honored to live in the city. Well, I had to take a little step out. I'm living in Miami Lakes right now, real quick, but I'm looking for a house in the city because I left because of COVID. It's a whole long story about that.
That's okay.
Yeah, but we're looking for a house here in the city of Hialeah, and I'm really excited of the work that Steve Bovo is doing.
What's your vision for the district as a whole? Miami Lakes, Palm Springs North. What do you have a goal when it's all said and done as commissioner?
If there's one short-term, mid-range goal, is to once and for all finish this debate or battle between the bridges. I think and what I mean about the bridges, there's an issue with the bridges on 154th and 170th Street to connect Miami Lakes, the western fringe of Miami Lakes and the eastern fringe of West Hialeah to each other. But those bridges have been closed.
The annexed area.
Yeah, the annex area. Thank you for that. And I think the only way to resolve this issue is by giving access to those residents on both sides to I-75. Because yes, you can build a bridge, you can open those bridges up, but it's still not going to alleviate the congestion and the traffic on the Miami Lakes side or on the Hialeah side. What people want and what residents want on both Miami Lakes and Hialeah is to have access to I-75. So for that reason, one of the first things I did as a county commissioner, it takes a while, but we now have a study that is being conducted by FDOT about the feasibility about slips onto I-75. And hopefully,
Good move. Good move.
Hopefully it should be done by June or July. I got confirmation of that. So as soon as that gets done, I think Congressman Mario Diaz-Balart or Debbie Wasserman Schultz have all committed that they want to work on making sure that we take care of the residents both of Miami Lakes and Hialeah with the on-ramps.
That's incredible. I'm glad to hear that. So the affordable living issue, it's crazy, the rents right now. Can you please explain the legislation that you helped, if I read correctly, and it's now law with the rental situation in Miami-Dade County, and what else are you looking into trying to do to alleviate the rent situation, lowering the prices? I mean, and by the way, listen, I'm not a fan of rent controls. I mean, it's tough because when you start doing rent controls, that's now you're thinking socialism, like, you know. But you might have to do rent controls. I mean, I know Commissioner Keon McGee, who I'm a big fan of as well. He's proposing something like this. Can you please comment on the rental situation?
Yeah, look, there's definitely a crisis here when we see the cost of rent has gone up more so than any other, I think, urban area in the country. And that's for a lot of factors. Now, as long you know very well, it's you have a lot of people that are coming into the city of Hialeah now. The amount of money has been thrown into the market. It's just COVID. There's a whole different slew of reasons why we see that. But the number one thing that I'm looking at is you have three costs when it comes to a property that gets rented out. One is taxes, one is insurance, and one is insurance, taxes, and what's the other one? You pay taxes, insurance. Well, you have two variable. Oh, and your mortgage. I apologize. And the mortgage that you pay on your property. So there's two. One is constant. One is fixed. That's your mortgage. The other two are variable rates. It's insurance and taxes. And what happens with taxes that while Miami-Dade County has not raised taxes, property values have skyrocketed. And as property values have skyrocketed, these are non-homesteaded properties. Non-homesteaded properties have a cap of 10%. They can't go up more than 10% of value, but that 10% is significant. And what happens as property values continue to rise, what happens to the property owner? He or she send that increase back down to the tenants. The same thing with insurance. Insurance, both those issues are something that need to be addressed in the legislature in the next year, because unfortunately the legislature this year didn't address the issue of insurance and the issue with trying to bring down the non-homesteaded property tax exemption that will help residents try to keep those taxes a little bit lower, and hopefully they will in turn return those savings back to the renters. We now, Keone McGee, Commissioner Keone McGee, had a study or came out with an issue about rent control. I'll tell you, it sounds great. Let's control rents, but the practicality of it doesn't work. Anywhere where rent control has been done, we've seen disastrous issues that come after. In New York, when we saw that, what happens is when you have rent control, buildings that are under rent control start falling under dilapidated situations because the owners, there's less profit, so they're not going to reinvest that money in the property. So you see that going down. Taxes start going up because all these rent control programs, what happens? They start increasing the government's role in how to administer these programs. So they're going to have to raise taxes to make sure that we continue the growth. And then what happens to that as well is when you have a rent control programs, you're going to have less development. Why are people going to be constructing buildings or rental properties when government is going to tell them what they can charge? So if you do that, you start eliminating the accessibility to rental properties, and that just makes it more difficult on the homeowners. And then on top of that, again, the landowners prices start going up, and that's where taxes start increasing as well. So there's a lot of different issues surrounding it.
So, do you have a solution that you would like to propose to the county commission and the mayor Cava?
The solution is more on the Tallahassee side, and it's really we have to get this property insurance rates under control and try to cap the increase of assessment on non-homesteaded properties.
Nothing can be done in the county level.
That can't be done. I already tried. I was looking at it the other day, and they were saying, Rene, you have to go up to Tallahassee to do that. So I already been working and talking to our day delegation about that.
What's the law that was passed that I know you did some work with it as well? You're a part of it. Am I correct?
I think the one that you're talking about is the one for 60 days that when if you are on a non-contracted basis leasing an apartment or on a month-to-month lease, that if they're going to increase your rent more than 5%, they have to give you a 60-day notice. And while there were some opponents to it say, oh, this is a form of rent control and so forth, but the reality is that these are individuals that are living rent month to month. And we had been seeing in my office an increase of cases coming in saying, listen, they increased my rate 30%. I have nowhere to go. And it takes some time for individuals to try to find another place to live. And I think this brings a little bit of relief.
And with evictions, how long does it? As I know you did something also with the evictions.
No, on the evictions, we I don't know. I can't think about it, but on the evictions, they got rid of the moratorium on evictions. You know, a lot of
Is it
people.
60 days though that the county now, that's going to be the new rule? That's the new law, 60 days? Because I think I read that.
No, because of with a county with evictions, I think it's usually around 3 months. Because that when you look at evictions,
Yeah,
it
because
starts.
they passed a law that was included with evictions as well. That's why I was asking you. I could be
Well,
wrong,
down
but
there,
I
I'm a little
believe.
confused with that right now, but I know that with the eviction process, it's a judicial issue, a judicial proceeding that has to occur, where you have to file a complaint with the judge, and usually that from the time that you start the eviction process to the time it ends, it's around 3 months.
Well, I could be wrong, but I read that the county now requires part of the law that was passed and Kyle signed is now 60 days. You got to
Okay.
give something like that.
No,
It's
but
complicated.
no, but the 60 days is that the one that I know of the 60 days is that if you are a month to month renter, they'll give you 60 days. If they're going to increase your rent more than 5%, they'll give you 60 days. Uh,
Okay.
yeah, that's what it is.
Well, Mr. Garcia, the last thing, um, do you aspire to move up in the political echelon? Like, do you have you're still young. Come on, you look young. I mean, I mean, it's awesome. I mean, do you have a
That's
goal?
that,
Mayor of Miami-Dade?
if
Running
I
for it?
look if I look young, it's because of the lighting that my office puts in this on this thing. It's a great little light here, so that's why it is.
You got
Um,
a great office, by the way. Yeah,
yeah,
I love your
actually,
office.
you're more than welcome whenever you want.
Thank you.
But and I do have. Listen, we have. I think the most phenomenal staff. Uh,
No, you have. Let me tell you something. Lauren, she's awesome. Thank you. Thank you.
hold on. Say hi. Say hi. You ready? She's over here.
Hi.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for saying that. I appreciate it.
And this is Megan over here.
Hi.
You have an awesome staff, Mr.
Yeah,
Garcia.
we do. We're very blessed.
It takes a village to make a community work.
Or it takes a village to make Rene Garcia work.
But you have no goals. You don't want to be mayor of. Would you like to run for mayor down the road in the future?
Look, Alexander, I keep all your options open.
Commissioner?
I think I'm at the latter part of my career. I've been doing this for almost 25 years. I was blessed to be able to serve as the city council and the state legislature, and now in the county commission. Hopefully, my goal is to try to bring a little more transparency to the county commission. But right now, I'm just really focused on the next couple of years here in Dade County, and as chairman of the Republican Party. My goal is to make sure that we bring transparency to our local party, one. Number two, get more local Republicans elected. And number three, have a process in place that.
I agree with you, by the way. More Republicans need to be elected in Miami-Dade
Yeah.
County.
Especially on the school board now, right? So.
Oh, my God. Yes. I don't even want to get started with that. I mean, yeah. I mean, yeah. You know what? I start feeling bad when I start thinking about the school board. That's a totally different government entity. I know they're having elections right now for the school board.
Yeah, they have their elections. Actually, this is the year after redistricting. The year after redistricting, almost every seat is up for the most part. So you're going to have all the state senators running, all the state house members running. You have your school board members that are running. You have certain county commissioners that are running. So you have the governor's name.
So all of you get out and vote.
Yes, sir.
If you want change and you want better government,
this is a year. This is a year to be paying attention. Look,
conservatism works. You're a business owner.
Free market works. Capitalism works. Do you have to have certain checks and balances? Of course, you have to have checks and balances. Is there going to be?
But we don't need the government to be giving us money.
Exactly, sir. We don't need. The biggest problems that we have nowadays, and the biggest problem with inflation, is that they put so much money into the market that's driven up the cost of everything.
They're even talking about giving $100 gas rebates a month.
But isn't that Putin's fault? The gas issue?
Huh?
Isn't the gas issue Putin's fault? I'm being sarcastic.
But I kid you not, there are Democrats now in Congress that are discussing giving $100 a month gas rebates to everyone.
You know what we have to do? Look, and we can talk about this, a whole conversation. I'm all about renewable energy sources. I'm about being energy self-sufficient. But you can't get away from the petroleum and the oil industry as you convert to something else. We need more. The only way to bring down oil prices here Miami in the United States is by opening up these permits, making sure that we produce more. And we don't
Open up
have
the
to produce.
Keystone Pipeline, by the way.
Yes, sir. We don't have to. We don't have to go into the reserves. Just open up. Let them produce more.
We don't need to
Since
ask Venezuela to give us more oil.
Iran or anywhere, nowhere
That
else.
this guy Maduro, he's just as bad as Vladimir Putin. I'm sorry.
No, absolutely. So that's what we need to start doing. Is
Yeah.
continue to grow the renewable energy sources. That's fine. I'm perfectly fine with that because we do need to grow that. That's another industry, creates jobs and so forth. But
remember, it takes energy to make energy.
Yeah, and this is why, what frustrates me the most with this whole issue of the Keystone Pipeline. We already have a pipeline coming in, but when you ask anyone, environmentalists, what is the best way or the safest way or the cleanest way to transport petroleum, is through these pipelines. Because think about this. This is the hypocrisy of the left right now when they say, oh, we want to close on the Keystone Pipeline, but we're going to continue to transport oil using oil-based vehicles, trucks to transport this. So we continue to pollute.
Yeah, I read by rail from Canada to the U.S. It's a total, it's incompetence and stupidity. Hey, Mr. Garcia, I'll let you go because I know the time is very limited. You got to attend to your district. You got a ton of meetings. But one thing I want to say praise for, because that word gets around. Good job on trying to help the special needs disability community. Good job. Congratulations. Because I've seen things, and you're doing the best you can under strict situations for the disability special needs community. The only thing I will tell you is keep up the good work, man.
Thanks. Look, and I've always said, my office laughs at me when I say this, but I really believe it. Government should be the voice for the voiceless. And who are those that don't have voices? Especially those individuals with disabilities that we can do a lot more for. We should never disregard them. Doesn't matter the level of disability that they have. That's who we in government should be protecting. That's who we should be taking care of. That's who our resources should be going to help. So I will always do my best to ensure that their voices are not lost, whether here at the county level or at the state or even in Washington. So I will continue to be that advocate and voice for those individuals, not only disabled, but those individuals that really don't have access or don't have a voice. So that's my
Thank you very much.
God bless.
And thank you to your staff. Ladies and gentlemen, Senator and Miami-Dade County Commissioner, Mr.Rene Garcia, came on the Alexander News Show live for April 7, 2022, Miami, Florida, USA. Thank you. Bravo. Have a great one, sir.
You too. Bye-bye.
There you go. There you have it. Senator and Commissioner, Mr. Rene Garcia, really nice guy. I'm not going to agree with him on everything. But let me tell you, when I agree with him on something, I'm going to give him props. And anyways, those of you that will listen to this interview later on, you can comment below the screen. And again, I mentioned that that's what's great about digital media. Welcome to the digital age. Okay. So you can comment, you can send a text, and the next time I do a show, I'll read your text out. Okay. You can text us. Let me go ahead. Give you the phone number really quick here. 786-652-7240. Or you can comment on Twitter or send an email. In regards to this show, if you happen to catch this show later on or tomorrow, make a comment or ask a question. You can still ask a question. I'll try to reach Mr. Garcia or his staff and ask them about it. I hope you all loved the interview, liked it. And if you didn't like the interview, please express your feelings about it too. So slam the like button, Like the show, the video, not only this interview, but all the other videos. And subscribe to the channel and hit the bell for notifications, or the way it works, hit the bell for notifications, subscribe to the channel. And yeah, I mean, it was a fun interview. We talked about the subject of Miami-Dade County fire rescue personnel deleting over 23 hours of critical rescue audio, I believe it's rescue audio data. I had to ask him that. I know he got a little, I could tell he got a little uncomfortable, but that's why we do this interview, because we want to ask the questions. So anyways, so let me cover this real quick here. So you can follow me, follow the show on all the platforms here, boom, social media platforms. Or, let me see, so Alexander News Show on Instagram. Let's see, Facebook page as well, Alexander News SH. And you can, it's all the information is down the below the screen here. If you want to support the show, Cash App, download it. Cash Alexander News Show, just look for it. And what else am I meant before I get going that I need to mention? Email the show if you have a question, or text the show. I already told you can make a comment, ask a question. Still, if you happen to want to catch the show later on. What else? And I believe, I think, oh yeah, if you're a business and you want to sponsor the show, you already know what to do. You can send a text or reach the show on alexandernewsshow@gmail.com. Love to have you as a sponsor. Promote your products, promote your company. So anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I'm glad we spoke. I had a show yesterday as well. It was pre-recorded. It was recorded earlier. You should check it out. We discussed a few issues. One of them is Joe Biden's disastrous immigration policy. And the other one was Coral Gables, Florida real estate racket, and the Special Needs Advisory Board for the town of Miami Lakes. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to the Alexander News Show. Thank you for watching. I will catch you next week with a whole new Alexander News Show. And also stay tuned, because there could be documentaries popping up. Have a great one. Bye. Well, by the way, I'm Alexander Carlos. Just thought I'd let you know. Alexander Carlos. Thank you for watching.